I hate things, or at least there's a lot of stuff I really don't like. Now, a lot of it's pretty standard stuff like homework and tests, rooms with bright color palettes, and that one guy who keeps saying we can't end on a loss. Like, come on, it's 3 a.m. and we've lost 12 games in a row. We should probably stop now. And, of course, it's the bottom scorer who barely knows how to turn on his monitor. But there's something about that statement. We can't end on a loss. No matter what's happened beforehand or what circumstances are in play, the only thing that matters is the outcome of the effort. Even though we're all tired, dejected, and plain sick of it at this point, the only thing that matters is that our last vision is one of clear and definitive victory. We can't end on a loss. This mentality extends to who we are in one shared endeavor, the pursuit of happiness. Regardless of who you are or what has shaped you, we all desire to be happy and content in one way or another. And no matter what, the end goal of happiness is worth any struggle that we could possibly experience. But we put so much focus on the outcome that we neglect the fact that there's a whole journey leading up to this happiness that we hope to obtain, which can be a real detriment to achieving it in itself. Now, I've experienced both sides of this in recent times. My junior year was an emotional low point. Like for most, the year was pretty tough, which I'm sure the upperclassmen can attest to. I was taking some pretty difficult classes such as Honors English and AP US History, but I was also bogged down by stress and straight up unhappy for most of the year. Aside from the difficulties in classes, I was also concerned about my friendships and also applying for college and wanting to do something unique and impactful with my time. I appreciated what these goals were inspiring me to do, but I was pinned down by their cost, worried only what I'd get from finishing them, not what it took or how I felt when doing that. So, looking for a way to be happy again, I turned to the strategies that we've all been told before. Doing the things we enjoy, which for me was listening to music, playing video games, watching videos, and hanging out with my friends. But I still wasn't happy. I felt that everything had gone depressing and stale to me. The music I could listen to for hours now felt bland and uninspiring. The games I used to enjoy were boring and fatiguing, so I tried to look for new things to enjoy. I looked for new music, new games, new hobbies, tried meeting more new people, but I was still unhappy. I was looking for something that was just as shock and awe-inspiring as my favorite music when I first listened to it, or my favorite video game when I first played it, and why the new things I were trying were still good in their own right. I placed too much on expecting the outcome to be over the top and exciting, and that was when I learned the first lesson in my struggle for happiness, placing realistic expectations in your life. You can't just expect the best thing from every experience that you encounter. Instead, understand that not everything has to live up to the greatest heights. Not everything will be a life-changing event. Avoid comparing your own adventures to other adventures you have. Let experiences stand on their own, not for what they give you directly with your time with them, and not for the experience that you think it won't live up to, but for the experience that it does provide. And if that experience makes you happy, then it doesn't matter what standard it reaches. All that matters is that you take that happiness and enjoy it. Still, this discovery alone didn't free me from my unhappiness. I knew what to do when I built up the courage and motivation to try something out, but there was still the whole issue of getting there in the first place. Throughout this time, I would find video games, TV shows, places to visit, and things to do, but as soon as I heard the slightest negative opinion on the matter, I would begin to worry. I dreaded over the fact that what I was about to embark on wasn't what I was hoping for, and as such, I would drop shows barely past the pilot episode or give up on projects at the first sign of difficulty. And if the amount of ideas that never left my head because I was too scared to give them a shot were written down and stacked up, they would range a mile high. But it wasn't just the opinions and thoughts of others, though. It was the confidence in myself. If my first lesson from this ordeal was how you view the experiences you go through, this is about what needs to happen to yourself. To build self-confidence is the most crucial way you can improve yourself and achieve happiness, and I mean that with 100%, with 1,000%. To be sure of yourself and your decisions is the way to carve a path to contentment, and aside from the basic strategies such as keeping yourself healthy and active, both physically and cognitively, one of the biggest ways you can improve your self-confidence is to understand that your decisions are your own to make. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting advice from those you trust, but commonly nowadays, especially amongst teenagers like most of you, I hope, there's ranges of sources where information are much broader, and as such, you can't expect every source to reflect on the experience you will have. Instead, be rational in your approach and how you value what others say. Know when to dismiss other people's statements for being irrational, and when you're ready to make a decision, be assertive. You'll be ready to try more things, have more experiences, and combined with the realistic expectations you'll be setting, there's a far higher chance you'll enjoy what you're doing too. Now, once I was armed with these two lessons, I was finally able to overcome this unhappiness that was plaguing my life. The first breakthrough ended up being one of the biggest parts of my life right now. Around last February, I discovered an editor to create custom content for one of my favorite video games. I was warned that it was an old, outdated, and sometimes even non-functional piece of software that's better off avoided. Instead, though, I thought to myself, nah, I'd make it work. I gave it a shot anyways. I had the confidence to try it out, to not let other people's experiences influence how I feel about my own experience, and the motivation to give it the shot it deserved. That, combined with the realistic but optimistic expectations I set for what I would get out of this program, let me experience what this program had to offer. And since then, this program, which is called the Hammer Editor, by the way, has allowed me to create some of my most proudest creations ever, and has even become a main talking point in some of my college essays this year, allowing me to create customizable 3D environments such as this one, which are fully explorable and you can modify to however much the game engine allows. Like, there's grass there, that's pretty impressive. But most importantly, this experience gave me something to be happy about again. I felt like there was something out there for me, and since that moment last year, I've been a far happier person. Now, it's not like my life was suddenly perfect or anything stupid like that, but since that moment last year, I've been able to get far more out of the music, the games, the projects I undertake, and the conversations I have. I was and I am happier because I had the confidence to try things out and the rationality to expect the realistic, and if you can achieve both of those things, your journey to happiness won't end on a loss. Thank you.